I'm Christie Ileto.
And I'm Alicia Vitarelli. Tonight on FYI Philly,
we are shining a spotlight on Broadway on Broad Street.
We've got Philadelphia premieres
and audience favorites.
We look at the upcoming season for the Philadelphia Orchestra.
I firmly believe we are in a new golden age.
Along with the ballet, Philadelphia and Opera Philadelphia.
Plus, things to do on the Kimball Cultural Campus. Hey everyone, and welcome to FYI Philly. We are at the historic Academy of Music. I get chills when I step into this place.
Right, and its more than 160-year history. The stage has been graced by everyone from Marian Anderson to Frank Sinatra, Duke Ellington, and George Gershwin.
And it's one of 3 theaters where you can experience the magic of Broadway right here in Philadelphia.
On our Broadway stages, we've got some legendary titles. Truly something for everyone.
There's a strange exhilaration.
These are all shows that got wonderful reviews and one of our strongest seasons.
The Broadway series brings a dozen shows with 19 Tony Awards collectively.
See the best of Broadway at the Academy of Music or the Forest Theater or the Miller Theater.
The 7-show subscription package includes Mrs. Doubtfire, brought to life on stage by Philadelphia-based actor Rob McClure.
It's the best kind of terrifying, right? You could feel the audience go, don't break this thing I love a lot, including me.
Robin Williams' renowned performance created the character of Mrs. Doubtfire for film. For Broadway, the goal is to avoid imitation while honoring the message of the story.
If I can make the audience feel the way I remember Robin Williams making me feel in that movie, that's something that I will shoot for.
The show will be making its Philadelphia premiere after a pandemic-shortened run on Broadway.
The very first hello, you feel the audience go like, oh, look, I just got goosebumps. And you feel the audience go like, Mrs. Doubtfire's here.
The musical tackles the crumbling marriage of Daniel Hilliard and his wife, Miranda.
Beating heart of that movie is what's going on for the kids. And this messy divorce, that sings.
Rob's real-life wife, Maggie, will be playing Miranda on the touring production.
We are happily married, despite the fact that we are going to have a really ugly divorce 8 times a week for a year.
Unlike the movie, the transition to Mrs. Doubtfire will be in real time.
If I have 18 seconds, I have 18 seconds. I do the full transformation, head to toe, 31 times a show. I did a little math, and it looks like by the end of this tour, I will have changed my clothes almost 13,000 times.
And he hopes the story transforms audiences' hearts.
The happy ending was redefining family, and that's something that the musical celebrates way beyond what even the film was exploring back then.
Do you want to build a snowman?
It's going to be a tremendous 3 weeks here at the Academy of Music.
For the first time in forever, Disney's mega hit Frozen will be in Philadelphia.
All the characters that you love from the film are in it. A beautiful stage adaptation of it.
The story explores the relationship between sisters Elsa and Anna,
who are really close and they love each other.
But Elsa's hidden powers pull them apart.
Accepting ourselves and loving ourselves is a good way to help build stronger relationships with other people.
Along the way, they meet Kristoff and Sven, and of course, Olaf.
Olaf is so beloved. He's really new to the world, and so he's seeing it all for the first time.
Each show features the iconic music and the extravagant stage production that Disney shows are known for.
Wonderfully epic in proportions and epic in its vocals and songs and music.
Tonight's story.
The music of Bob Dylan weaves together the narrative of Girl from the North Country.
She said, "Oh, without a doubt."
This beautiful, sad, but in the end, hopeful and moving story of these characters up in northern Minnesota. Bob Dylan himself is from Minnesota.
Music supervisor Simon Hale was tasked with orchestrating the Nobel Prize winner's music.
It was a really interesting challenge, thinking about what the songs were, what they were saying, what they'd been in his voice, in other people's voices.
The show is set during the Depression. Parts of more than 20 Dylan songs set the mood.
It's a very uplifting story, although it has some sadness.
As characters come and go, the music is a shining light during a dark time in American history.
Dylan's music is so deep and profound. People are very moved by the show. It's a very beautiful story.
I know you wanna leave me.
Ain't Too Proud brings Motown to Philadelphia.
You're coming to see 5 smooth brothers on stage.
The show tells the story of the Temptations.
The trials and tribulations of what those 5 men went through.
The show features legendary hits like My Girl, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and Just My Imagination.
It was just my imagination.
whenever there's a sad moment, to hear a sad song, you really understand where the temptations were in their life. You actually see the situation that they were going through at that time. Life creating art and art creating life.
Ain't Too Proud won a Tony Award for choreography.
We are turning and spinning, doing the James Brown splits to the floor.
Highlighting one of Motown's signature sounds, the show also serves as an introduction for a new generation as it tours the country.
Young people who aren't familiar with the Temptations are blown away by the music and the story.
The Broadway revival of Funny Girl will make its debut in Philadelphia at the Academy of Music.
It's the story of the legendary Fanny Brice and basically how she became one of the most beloved and successful performers in history.
The first Broadway revival since it created a star out of Barbra Streisand.
Hello, gorgeous.
Streisand won an Academy Award for her performance as Fanny Brice in the 1968 film.
Special people.
The updated Broadway production features the same classic show tunes like I'm the Greatest Star, Don't Rain on My Parade, and People.
Uncompromising belief in who you are in your dreams and then going for it.
Whoa! The theme of female empowerment is found throughout the season.
Lots of incredibly strong women, which we always like to present.
Phone rings, door chimes, in comes company.
Company revives the late Stephen Sondheim's original story about a bachelor in New York City.
The big thing, first and foremost, is that Bobby is a woman. It's spelled B-O-B-B-I-E.
A single woman in New York City finding herself.
That character change creates a fascinating shift in the narrative.
A woman turning 35 is a different experience than a man turning 35.
The ticking clock becomes a lot louder, and that's a theme in the show.
Love is company.
Bobby examines her life through a series of flashbacks.
We are all along for the ride from start to finish.
The Kimmel Cultural Campus invested in the original production that won a Tony Award for Best Revival.
We're very excited to be a part of bringing that show to Broadway.
And Brittany Coleman will be making history as she plays Bobby across the country.
I have never seen a Sondheim show led by someone who looks like me. I don't take that for granted one bit. I am so grateful to be able to take his work, say his words, sing his songs in front of thousands and thousands of people.
Wicked brings another powerful female performance to Philadelphia.
In its 20th season, it opened on Broadway in October 2003. Every time you see it, you can discover something new about it.
The show explores the Wizard of Oz story through the lens of the two witches.
A complex relationship between two women, which you don't often see on stage.
And room with Miss Galinda.
Glinda and Elphaba inspire the magical story.
It sends a message to not judge someone on your first impression.
You can become the hero in your own story, no matter what other people are saying about you.
After 20 years, the show's music remains one of the highlights.
I really love doing popular.
I know about popular.
It's an iconic role.
The first time you hear Defying Gravity and you hear the audience roar after it, you realize, wow, this is something special.
With a traveling cast of nearly 40, the production is bringing the Broadway phenomenon around the country.
The choreography and the ensemble coming in is really, really, really cool.
It's a Broadway smash for a big reason.
Become a Broadway subscriber and your package will include all 7 of those shows.
You can find the link for tickets at 6abc.com/FYI or just scan that QR code right on your screen.
Just one look.
Want to make some swaps? There are options.
Okay, we'll check them out when we come right back.
This week's FYI Philly is sponsored by the Kimmel Cultural Campus.
Welcome back to FYI Philly and the Academy of Music, the oldest continuously operating opera house in the country.
And for the building's 150th birthday celebration, then Prince, now King Charles III and his wife Camilla were right here.
Also, at least 7 U.S. presidents have graced this space.
And it's a place where you can watch some amazing Broadway shows.
For Broadway shows, there are benefits to subscribing.
We're able to offer them some flexibility.
And there are 5 shows this season you can add on or swap out.
Every step you take.
Message in a Bottle is a new show based on the music of Sting.
Very fun dance-based show from British hip-hop choreographer Kate Prince.
The show from London's West End is getting a very limited U.S. tour.
We're one of the few places in the United States that will have this.
And it's artfully approved by the musical icon himself.
The response for me was very emotional, and not just because I was honored that they were using my music to express something, but there was something happening at a deeper level.
He said he's always heard renditions of his songs auditorily, but he's never seen his music visually. He actually cried.
The story is a dramatic tale of 3 immigrant siblings
trying to find a new home during war-torn times.
Our parents end up dying, and we have to find new homes.
The narrative is told through music and dance.
The tricks and flips and agility and strength that some of these dancers have, it's extraordinary.
It's a stunning piece of work. I mean, the dancing and the energy coming off the stage is palpable.
The Tony Award-winning hit Hadestown is back, based on the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice.
She becomes tempted to the world that Hades runs, which is a very dark, industrial, dirty place. And then Orpheus, because he loves her, takes on a perilous journey to go find her. But the one condition is he cannot turn around.
I'm coming, wait for me.
The setting of an imagined Americana contrasts with the underworld, all set to music and a score by Anais Mitchell.
It's everything from funky New Orleans jazz rock to these beautiful, evocative folk rock ballads.
The 2 distinct worlds are created with both set design and choreography.
When people are having fun, the dance has that vibe. And when people are suffering and working, the dance has that vibe.
There's a logic operating that goes beyond the story.
Cirque Dreams Holidaze offers fun for the whole family in the week between Christmas and New Year's.
We are a tour, and we have been running for 14 years, bringing spectacular family holiday traditions all over the country.
And this is taking all the myths of various holidays from around the world and reconceived through Cirque.
We have singers and we have dancers, but really the stars of the show are the circus artists. Upside down, hanging from the air, flipping through the air, and doing all sorts of amazing acrobatics and contortion.
The musical renditions of traditional Christmas carols range from modern to classic.
Mamma Mia!
The perennial hit Mamma Mia turns 25 this year.
It's the story of a young woman who's getting married. Her mother was a former pop star, and she's trying to figure out who her dad is.
It's a guessing game between 3 possible papas.
Tells the story of Donna and her daughter, and basically them trying to get through this wedding weekend together. It has basically any ABBA song you can think of.
Money, money, money.
Transporting to the Greek Isles for one fun-filled night out.
A brand new tour that we are coming back right in time for summer fun.
Tina Fey's Mean Girls is also returning this season.
If you like the movie, it goes beyond, but at its core, it's still about human beings and what we do to each other.
The show hits the stage on a date cemented in pop culture as Mean Girls Day.
All Mean Girls fans can celebrate Mean Girls Day at the Miller Theater on October 3rd.
You can find the link for tickets to all of those Broadway shows at 6abc.com/FYI.
When we come back, we take a look at what's on tap for the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Along with Opera Philadelphia, Philadenko, and the Philadelphia Ballet. Welcome back to FYI Philly and the Academy of Music.
Opened in 1857, it is the oldest continuously operating opera house in the country.
A place where you can see Broadway shows along with Philadelphia Ballet and Opera Philadelphia.
Known as the Grand Old Lady of Locust Street, the theater has seen its share of history.
That's right, Susan B. Anthony spoke on women's suffrage right here in 1870.
The theater hosted the Republican National Convention in 1872.
And in 1877, Alexander Graham Bell demonstrated his brand new invention right here, the telephone.
The Academy was also home to the Philadelphia Orchestra from the ensemble's founding in 1900 until its move to the new Kimmel Center for the Performing Arts in 2001. The Philadelphia Orchestra has a season packed with star power. From opening night, when the legendary cellist Yo-Yo Ma makes his first of 3 appearances, to the final concert of the season.
We're going out with this incredible performance of Puccini's beloved La Boheme.
Composer John Williams, winner of 5 Oscars and 25 Grammys, will lead the orchestra, playing his beloved film scores. Actress and singer Audra McDonald, who holds the record for most Tony Awards won by an actress, will take the stage. And the orchestra will play a series of master choral works.
We're also at the cutting edge with 6 world premiere performances written specially for the Philadelphia Orchestra.
There's a brand new Spotlight series featuring solo artists.
These are opportunities to go into Verizon Hall, hear an incredibly intimate and mind-blowing recital experience.
And Artistic Director Yannick Nézet-Séguin continues to celebrate the classics while also championing the music of overlooked and neglected voices.
His approach is really to think of our programming as a museum where the great works of art are beautifully enjoyed and a laboratory where the works of the future are taking shape. I firmly believe we are in a new golden age.
Bigger fingers, yeah.
This is a big year for the Philadelphia Ballet.
It is our 60th anniversary.
And slap, that's right.
And Angel's 10th anniversary.
The season kicks off with the world premiere of Artistic Director Angel Correa's Carmen.
I think that it's going to be very exciting. I'm one of the first Spanish choreographer that is choreographing at Carmen Ballet.
He's infusing the work with flamenco flavor and personally designing the costumes.
All the costumes are going to be made in Spain. I want it to be as authentic as possible.
The ballet starts with Carmen in a giant skirt that represents a carnation, deeply symbolic in Spanish culture.
She's going to come almost out of the costume, and the costume stays there like a flower on stage.
The ballet returns to the Academy of Music for nearly the entire month of December for George Balanchine's The Nutcracker.
We're adding a few shows because last year was such a big success.
It's Tchaikovsky's score and the beloved story of a little girl and the gift of a nutcracker.
The Nutcracker takes her to the land of candy, and then they visit the Sugar Plum Fairy. We don't know if it's her dreams or if she's actually awake.
Philadelphia is putting on a show this fall inspired by the company's founder.
My mother is Joan Myers Brown. I'm just amazed. The inspiration that she brings to other people.
The program is called Intangible Influences.
We have two of our former choreographers at Philadelphia, and then we have two different choreographers that have been influenced by those great choreographers.
Christopher Rudd is an up-and-coming choreographer whose style evokes the late Jean Hill Sagan.
He's doing a new work that's encompassing neoclassical, contemporary, and circus.
Christopher Huggins, an Alvin Ailey disciple, has inspired Philadelphia alum Yuja Matthews.
Christopher Huggins, he uses theatricality, and Yuja movement is very athletic.
There's always something new with Philadelphia. To know us is to love us.
Opera Philadelphia kicks off its 5th festival, O, in September.
It's 11 days with more than 30 performances at venues across the city.
Verdi's Simone Boccanegra will be at the Academy of Music.
It's actually the first time in 40 years that this opera is coming to Philadelphia. This is grand opera with a whiff of HBO drama.
Unholy Wars is a new opera based on a Baroque classic.
Monteverdi's Combattimento di Tancredi e Clorinda.
The original works look at the Crusades through the eyes of the Christian invaders. Grammy Award-winning Lebanese-American tenor Karim Suleiman flips the script to the Arab perspective.
Basically extrapolating on what could have been if they just laid down their swords.
The festival also features the world premiere of 10 Days in a Madhouse, a new opera based on a 19th century essay by investigative journalist Nellie Bly.
It's got everything I love, a strong female character, about social justice.
With everything from dubstep to trap music, the opera is the creation of an all-female team.
Which I do feel like I should point out because it rarely happens. Will you come see it?
I cannot wait to see it. You can find the full schedule for all those shows at 6abc.com/FYI.
We explore the offerings on the Kimmel Cultural Campus, many of them free, when we come right back.
Welcome back to FYI Philly and the Academy of Music, the grand old lady of Locust Street.
That's right, and did you know that there used to be a restaurant on the ground floor of the theater?
During World War II, it was called the Stage Door Canteen, and it served 2.5 million servicemen and women.
And no surprise, that mission of service to the community continues today.
And action. For 1 week each summer, middle school students spend all day inside the Kimmel Center's SCI Innovation Studio, attending what's known as summer art sessions.
We affectionately call it Miss Sass.
It's a free program that exposes the kids to music, theater, dance, and the digital arts.
We are cultivating the next generation of artists and audiences.
Oh, you saved me!
And it really opens up a world of possibilities for their own careers.
By giving them a chance to rub elbows with professional artists, like Teresa Hoagland, who plays Elsa in the Broadway production of Frozen.
That is the best part of having a summer camp being run by the Philadelphia Orchestra and Kimmel Center. We're able to provide these really special, magical experiences for our students.
The internationally acclaimed Charlotte Blake Alston is the orchestra's new storyteller, narrator, and host for everything from school and family concerts to Sound All Around.
Sound All Around is an educational concert series that's offered to very young children.
With the Family Discovery series, you can get special pricing on family-friendly favorites.
And you get access to all these shows before they go on sale.
Everything from Bluey's Big Play to Wildcrafts Live.
To concerts with the orchestra performing with films like Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Kimmel Center was built to provide superior acoustics for the Philadelphia Orchestra sound and to provide a home for other arts organizations in the city. Part of the mission was always to create a community hub.
The Commonwealth Plaza in the Kimmel Center is the community's living room.
With comfy couches, free Wi-Fi, and a cafe and restaurant, dining options that allow showgoers to come early and stay late.
It's a great city. There's really just something for everyone down here.
For 2 decades, the orchestra was one of the Kimmel Center's resident companies.
And during COVID, we thought to ourselves, how can we better serve the audiences of Philadelphia and beyond?
So the 2 legacy organizations became one.
Our commitment to inclusion, diversity, equity, and access is reflected in everything we do. The public's going to see much more of the programmatic benefits of the creation of the Philadelphia Orchestra and Kimmel Centering.
The Kimmel Cultural Campus presents a diverse array of offerings.
The very best in jazz and dance and comedy and world music.
With 9 stages across 3 theaters.
The Kimmel Center, the Miller Theater, the Academy of Music.
The Miller opened as the Schubert Theater in 1918, serving as a tryout venue for shows heading to Broadway, like Call Me Mr., starring a young Carl Reiner and Buddy Hackett, and Jamaica, starring Lena Horne, Ossie Davis, and Alvin Ailey. And all the arts organizations across the campus will come together on September 23rd for the Fall Arts Fest.
It's going to feature music and dance and theater, arts resources, social service resources. It's going to be an extraordinary day.
And it's all free.
It's our way of saying welcome. It's our way of saying come and try this.
The campus is a one-stop shop for entertainment, education, culture, and community.
You can find full details on all of the shows and events featured this past half hour at 6abc.com/FYI.
And if you just hold your camera phone up to that QR code on the screen, it'll take you right there.
Have a great week, everyone, and we hope to see you at a show.